has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall Coast to Coast in the biggest way possible right here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us on a Monday. Carver High in for Scotty, along with, how about this, on a Monday? We'll get to him in a moment, of course, and the Prime Minister is here, and what a day to have him with everything that we have going on. Very big show today. As always, we've got Bill Bender from the Sporting News. We'll do some college football with him, a lot to discuss. As we have hit mid-November, and there is a lot of teams in position to maybe get into this 12-team playoff, especially after this past weekend with a few upsets. So we'll do that, Bill. Later on, final hour, Dave Sharapan, the Sportsbook Consigliere. And you know I always love talking to Dave. Several things. We'll have Monday Night Football tonight, some of the other stuff, NBA, etc. So we'll get into all of that with Dave later on. But as I mentioned, it is a Monday. No Scotty as he gets back from I know good weekend for him. He had the Penguin win Saturday night at the PPG over the Sharks. He was there. And then the hell of a game as the Steelers beat the Ravens 18-16 at the place the Steelers play. So we will hear all about that from Scotty's perspective tomorrow when he is back. You get me. And there he is, Cam Stewart, the Prime Minister, here on a Monday. Hi, Cam. How are you?
Love you, Carver. Love the Bills. Shout out, the Prime Minister has dual citizenship. I would like to be a member of the Western New York fan club because I love you. And all you Kansas City Chiefs fans, you know what? Whatever. There's a few nice ones, but thank God Buffalo won that game. I was waiting and waiting and waiting for this. One run by Allen. Got an MVP ticket with him. And then later on, the sun was shining on me for a change. Geno Smith running it in for the Seahawks outright against San Francisco. And I bet on my boy Geoff's Chargers. Carver, other than the CFL, the Prime Minister's game where I had Winnipeg like a complete stooge. They got murdered by Toronto. It's been a great weekend, buddy, and I'm proud of you. These Josh Allen. Yeah, oh yeah. Zach Collaros isn't enough. Know who his best friends are, eh? Zach Collaros, University of Cincinnati. Friend of...
Yeah.
No, he's a friend of Jason Kelsey and their best buddies. They were on that Cincinnati Bearcats, and they lost. I didn't even think about that. I had so much going on. I should have bet against the whole thing.
So wait a second. Now, I'm not, as you know, I'm not as in tune with what's going on with the Grey Cup, as you know. But I knew that it was Toronto, Winnipeg. But I thought that Toronto lost Chad Kelly, and they had no chance in this game. No chance they had. They won outright, huh? Good for them. Good for Toronto.
Outright by like 30 points. And another thing, the MVP is from like my neighborhood. Like I had so much going on with this crap this week. I would have like made that like an instant betting tool. Yeah, Nick Arbuckle, backup quarterback, MVP. I hope you had that ticket. What a weekend, Carver.
It was what a weekend. And I know it was a long week for you with this Bill Chief game that happened. And you know, obviously, it's always a big week for me being the Buffalo Bill fan that I am with this game. And as usual, Cam, the game lives up to the billing. I think that having Allen and Mahomes, it's clearly – and Burrow's outstanding too. You saw Burrow on display in the loss. The problem with Burrow is, unfortunately for him this year, the rest of his team outside him and Chase sucks. And that's Burrow's problem that he has this year in Cincinnati. But this is not shortchanging Joe Burrow or any of these other really good players in this league. Allen versus Mahomes is the marquee NFL event on a yearly basis now. It has been for the past couple of years. I thought Allen was excellent yesterday, Cam. And as I said all week leading up to this game, it's not going to really resonate until they beat them in January. But it's still a huge game for them because it now gives them a chance to maybe have that game again in Buffalo in January with them beating them yesterday. So lots of huge things for them. They said so after. You know, Allen's played it cool all week. We got to beat him in the playoffs. That's what counts. But he was excellent. And what changed for me, Cam, and we'll talk about this a little bit more when we get into the game, the biggest thing for me was McDermott has always been a captain conservative when it comes to big decisions. And you know, if he would have kicked the field goal to go up 5 on that 4th and 2, Mahomes would have went right down the field and won that game. For the first time, it seems like McDermott figured it out. Let Allen do his thing, takes it in the end zone, 2-score game over, finished, done, Cam. I was very proud of McDermott yesterday.
I agree. And the thing is, if you lose that game, you just have a specter of misery around you again. Oh, here it is. The Chiefs beat us again. You had to at least do part one. I know it's a regular season game, but it means so much to Buffalo to shake it. Like, you got to get these guys out of your head. You beat them. And another thing is, lesson learned by Tampa Bay, that's the thing. You got to be aggressive with the Chiefs, because if they have the ball under a touchdown last minute of the game, you're toast. You're absolutely toast. If you want to beat them, you go for two. When you're any other team in the league, I don't care who you are. Never give them the opportunity. Under one possession, you make it a 9-point game, Buffalo. You take care of business. Very proud of the Bills. And I think they have one thing going on right now. Kincaid was out. Knox played well. But the little guy, Shakir, he is a nightmare for defenses. And I'm telling you, I love Buffalo. I'm cheering for them, Carver. I hope you guys win the damn Super Bowl.
What also makes this a little different for me also, Cam, and it still has to be January, but this was a different Bill team than the one that has lost to the Chiefs all these times in the playoffs, three times over the last 4 years. This is no longer the Stephon Diggs, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, all that. The core group of guys are all gone. This was Allen beating them with a whole new cast of characters, of supporting players on both sides of the ball. I thought the defense was excellent against Mahomes yesterday, and that's something that maybe McDermott's also figured out a little bit. Again, it's got to translate to postseason, but still, hell of a win for Buffalo, and we will discuss that more today as they go into a bye week, 9-2 now, and in great shape with the Chiefs 9-1 in the AFC. The other game was, of course, like I said, the one that Scotty was at, the Steelers beating the Ravens 18-16, and it is what it is, Cam. Lamar Jackson, he is a great player, but he's got a few things that he's got like a few little warts that he hasn't been able to exactly get rid of yet in his career, and one of them is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they've beaten him now 8 of the last 9. He hasn't played in all those games, but him personally has now lost 5 of his last 6 against them. So he's got a problem with Pittsburgh. Tomlin and that defense, they know how to get to Lamar, stopping the 2-point conversion, winning the game 18. All field goals for the Steelers, too. I think that was the third team this year, Cam, that won a game only kicking field goals, and the other team scored a touchdown. So great win for Pittsburgh.
It all aligned. Because I remember when Scotty was going to the Sharks game, I go, you know what? I'm going to do the Pittsburgh 2-step parlay, Penguins and Steelers.
Yes.
Honestly, if I just listened to everything that would have been a positive for all of us, we would have won every single bit. And when I found out that story, I got to tell you, that Argos game too was absolutely hilarious. I did get the over though, but I'll give Morency, I'll give him balls. He took a 10-point dog on the money line. I thought they had no chance, but that was a magical weekend for all of us, Carver. And I'll tell you one thing: the difference is Allen, when he runs the ball, he's a freight train and he can do things.
Yes.
Lamar's problem is he doesn't have the body type and his accuracy is not even in his league. And that's a problem. You can do all the athletic things you want. You come up with a game plan. You got weapons. You got Derrick Henry. But I'll tell you one thing. Allen turns into a damn lineman when he's running. He's like a thoroughbred horse. He'll knock you down, whatever. Lamar's got to play like Frogger and get away. He's a different cat, bro. And I love my MVP tickets, Carver. I'm telling you, I got one in my back pocket. Come on, Allen. He helped himself. He is now the favorite.
As he should be, and if they are the 1 seed in the AFC this year, and they go 14-3, or 13-4, whatever it is, and they get that, he is going to win the MVP, especially with this new cast he's got around him. We got a game tonight, Cowboys and Texans. We'll talk about. We have to do that. We have all of the college football from the weekend that we have to discuss, and then we'll look towards this week. We have NBA tonight, pretty good slate. We have hockey tonight. How about Ovi with a hat trick last night? Now only 29 away from Gretzky. Amazing stuff from Alexander Ovechkin. And we'll eventually also talk about, man, what a scam that Tyson-Paul fight was on Friday night. What a scam that was.
Oh, you're telling me.
Coast to coast on a Monday. We're back right after this.
What else do you need in your life? Are you not entertained coming along with us here on the SportsGrid Network?
They have regressed horrifically in the 3 years that he's been in charge. They are a disaster. They are a sinking ship.
Casey, why you bugging?
Who I must ask, did you see Caitlin Clark, by the way, Dubsy, nearly take a couple of people's heads off with her tee shot today? I mean, how great was that?
I've never seen anything closer to Sharpin on the golf course until I saw that video of Caitlin Clark.
They are anemic. They can't stop a runny nose. Their defense is as bad as the Jets.
I don't know how anybody looks at the Jets and wants to lay anything with them except lay down and just, and die at this point here, Ben.
The Jets will always jet.
I hate them. Give me Duke minus a 6.5 tonight.
Now we live in a society, it's not fair. We need 12 teams. It's not fair. We're going to have 16 teams, 24 teams. What the hell are we doing here?
I think UConn actually wins the national championship if they can stay healthy. Little side note for everybody.
In women, South Carolina,
all right,
big favorite.
Oh, no. In both.
Kentucky gonna fall off that map, man. Don't worry about it. Flat Earth will fall right off, Kyrie Irving style.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the Dallas Cowboys, and they're ran like a Pee Wee football team. Yep. I can't believe this.
Like people enjoy saying Knickerbockers. Well,
like saying Knickerbockers, except you.
Losing to who? The Detroit Pistons? What? How do you do this one, Spock? Come on.
He's going to give deference to Georgia because of the G on the side of the helmet. I certainly understand that.
Those of you that watch us every night, we really do appreciate you.
Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, Coast to Coast, here on a Monday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Scotty back tomorrow, of course, after a very triumphant weekend in Pittsburgh for him, which we'll hear all about when he gets back tomorrow. Let's go. We got a lot of NFL from Sunday that we have to tackle here, Cam. Lots of interesting games to discuss. And we mentioned this. Obviously, this was the biggest game, and we discussed it. But now let's hear a couple things from it. And that was the Bills defeating the Chiefs 30-21 up at Highmark late Sunday afternoon. Back and forth game. Bills take control, though, in the second half. In fact, they were up, Cam, up 2, because of the Dopey Bass missing another extra point. Man, they get ready to him. So up 2 late in the fourth. Crucial 4th and 2 deep in Kansas City territory. The old Sean McDermott probably kicks the field goal to go up 5. The new Sean McDermott says, let my all-world quarterback do it himself on CBS.
Fakes left, now taken off. Gonna run for it, he got it! And there he goes! Inside the 10, the 5! Oh, the play of the year in the NFL!
I think I
it
saw...
brings tears to my eyes, Carver. What do you always say? From your lips to God's ears. I'm not even like Bill said. I'm not part of it. But everything in me, I prayed and I never bet harder. I bet the Bills like I bet a Super Bowl. I went all in. And I go, you know what? They better win this damn game. And when he scored that touchdown, I said, thank you, gambler. I said, thank you, Bills fans. Awesome. And I'll tell you one thing. When Bass missed that extra point, Carver, I'm like, here we go. What's going to happen? Kansas City by 1? And I know you thought the exact same thing because that's what every Bills fan thought, right?
It's very nerve-wracking because despite that huge kick that he made a few weeks ago, which was that 60-yarder to beat the Dolphins, other than that, he has missed some extra points and some kicks in some very big spots this year, and I worry that that's going to eventually cost them a game at the worst time. And at this point of the season, the worst time is going to be in January because they have a 5-game lead in the AFC East. I actually saw they could clinch the AFC East with like one more win and one more Dolphin loss, and they'll have the AFC East wrapped up before December 1st, which is pretty wild when you think about it. But I'm very nervous that Bass is going to eventually cost them a problem. And I saw this stat earlier, Cam, when it comes to Allen. I believe that the Bills are now 10-2 when Allen runs the football more than 10 times and he scores a touchdown. They're 10-2 when those things happen. When he and sometimes that's not by design. Sometimes those are games where Allen just, improvising, escaping trouble, things like that, because they never do 10 designed runs for him in a game. But he's sometimes got to move on his own. And when he finds the end zone, that was an incredible run by him to go and give them a put-away shot. Yeah.
Bass missing could be a good thing in the long run because McDermott will think, I can't leave it up to our kicker. Like, I can't do this. We have to continue to do these things. Yeah. It's one of those things, like, if you're the coaching staff, I get it. We got to have this guy's back, but we also have to think about the big picture. We can't have any more heartbreaking, horrible losses in our franchise anymore. And I'll trust Allen with that ball in his hand more than any other person on the Buffalo Bills. He might make one little mistake once in a while, but he'll make up for it with 5 amazing plays a game. The guy's wicked.
He is wicked. Here is Sean McDermott. As I said to you before, Cam, he went up. I've been ragging on McDermott for a long time. I still haven't gotten over just the worst coaching performance I ever seen in the 13-second game in Kansas City a few years ago. But he had me turn the corner a little bit last night by actually going for it on that 4th down and finally gave a legitimate reason why. It's so clear as day. I didn't want to give those guys the ball again with a 1-score game.
Yeah, I just felt, we mapped it out during the week and felt strongly that was the right decision. I don't want to be resulting, if you will, but would have stood by it if it didn't work out. Just felt like, there's been too many games, as you guys know, where Andy and Patrick have come back and you kick a field goal and they go score a touchdown, or it's overtime, just in different games where they've been and they get the ball first and the game's, so they're just way too good to not go for it right there. And, so every situation's a little bit different, but felt confident.
Sweep the leg, no mercy, Cam. Sweep the leg, no mercy. And that's what they went for yesterday. I was very proud of them, proud of Allen, proud of McDermott. Of the job that they did in that game. And I hope, once again, I hope that builds them into beating them finally in January.
Quickly, one more time, Carver.
Yes.
Teams got to stop being nice to Kansas City. They're the enemy. They win all the time. This is football. And the one thing I like, at least the Bills hate these guys. They respect them, but they're not going to put up with this crap anymore. Stop letting them up and do things. You got to play like these guys are taking your family's dinner, money, anything, and stop being nice to them. You got to bring your A game and start hitting these guys. Come on, let's get real.
I agree. Everyone should hate them at this point. When you win as much as they have, everyone, if you're a fan of them, that's one thing. But everyone else should be united in seeing the Chiefs go down. Nobody wants to see them win it a 3rd straight time this year. And I saw Mahomes. They've been playing with fire all year, Cam.
Yep.
They've been playing with fire all year, and they had odds last week, them to go 17-0. The NFL, there's not going to be any more undefeated teams. I know the Patriots got through it and then couldn't finish the job with the Giants. Cam, they have made this season now and the circumstances way too difficult for anyone to get through it the entire year without losing a game. It's all between the schedule, added games, injuries, free agency, all of the you wrap it all up, and I just don't see how it's going to happen. And I'm sure some team will come close, but I think it's very difficult to do. And the Chiefs have had games just in the last month alone that they could have been picked off at any of them. But I thought the Bills were the better team, no question, on Sunday, and hopefully they'll be the better team in January.
The best is still the 72 Dolphins with their champagne. It's like, guys.
I
saw the video. I'm like, it's different, guys. Those guys are the best.
Yes, they are. Ferrall Coast to Coast here on a Monday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty. We're back on the grid right after this.
Need help with your NFL picks? Get NFL insider knowledge from Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden injury advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, player props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Get a free week now with promo code SportsGrid at SickScore.com.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid. And we are back for Coast to Coast here on a Monday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty. He'll be back tomorrow here on C2C. All right, Cam, we move along from Sunday's NFL action. Remember, we got a lot to do for tonight. We got Texans and the Cowboys, if that rings your bell, at Jerry's World on a Monday night to get you going. We got lots of NBA, lots of hockey, even a couple of college basketball games. So we will get through all of that as we move forward. The game, Scotty, was that, of course, the Steelers beat the Ravens 18-16 at the place the Steelers play. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, 6 field goals for Chris Boswell and the Steelers yesterday, but it was enough to get the job done. Lamar Jackson struggled again, as he has in the past against Pittsburgh, but he did find Zay Jones with just over a minute left to go in regulation. The hard part, though, is then you got to get the 2-point conversion to tie the game. The Steeler defense coming up big on CBS.
Jackson keeping it. Jackson fake. Jackson tosses. Incomplete. The pressure was there. Joey Porter Jr. flocking to the quarterback.
There you go. Huge play on the 2-point try. And look, the numbers are the numbers. And Lamar's had a great year. He's a great regular season player. There is absolutely no disputing that whatsoever. Ravens could be a little bit of a bully team, though, sometimes. And one team that they cannot bully is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, as we mentioned, have now beaten them 8 of the last 9. And Lamar has lost 5 of 6 of those games himself. Now, here was the thing that stuck out to me, Cam. Lamar, 16 for 33 for 207, and he threw a pick. Go look at the rest of his games. Those numbers are a lot different than the rest. And Henry, only 65 yards on 13 carries. And I believe they didn't even give him a carry in the fourth quarter, I believe, of a game that was relatively close. They did not give a carry. And I get maybe they're throwing a little bit more, obviously. They're down. But he's also what's made them so good this year at times, Cam. So to Henry not to get the rock, that is interesting to say the least for the Ravens.
Interesting. That's how you bury teams. You put your foot on the throat. We just talked about that. This guy's a battering ram. You're supposed to give him more carries in late third and fourth quarter to wear down teams. That's your MO. I know you got guys who can catch the ball, but Baltimore needs a running game to establish everything else that they want to do. Unbelievable. And Carver, I'm going to say one damn thing. We talk about Butker and Chris Boswell, to me, could be one of the most underrated kickers in like NFL history. The guy hitting all the time. And you know how hard it is to kick in that stadium. Crazy winds and stuff. That guy nuts everything. He's a really, really good kicker that people don't talk about enough.
He's 29 of 30 this year.
Yeah.
And the one that he missed was from over 50. So he's missed nothing short, and he's 29 of 30, and of course he hit 6 yesterday in that game. Hell of an effort. 3 turnovers forced by the Steeler defense. Let's hear from Lamar Jackson. All right, Lamar. So what's going on? Why can't you beat the Steelers?
Do you think with the penalties and the turnovers that you guys feel like you're your own biggest detriment? It wasn't really but what you guys did, you feel?
Absolutely. It's been that way for ever since last year, I believe. Going back to the AFC Championship game, we killed ourselves. Chiefs game, the opener, we killed ourselves. Raiders, we killed ourselves. And today, same thing. It's just like we can't be beating ourselves in these type of games. We got to find a way to fix that.
It's always them. Yeah, it's always them. Tip the cap to the other team ever. It's always mistakes that they made in the big spots. So, and I think one of those mistakes is, quite honestly, Cam, and I think this was a problem for them in the AFC title game last year against the Chiefs. I think it's been a problem for them as well in the past, is their offensive play calling gets questionable sometimes. When they get into these close games, it gets very questionable.
I remember they ran Justice Hill right out of the gate and looked good. And then I'm like, why are you changing your game plan? This is what you have to do to the Chiefs. Like, you're right, Carver. You're dead on. Like, Harbaugh and that staff, they got to take some blame for this. These guys, they do some really stupid things sometimes, like really dumb.
And one other thing I'll say too, Cam, and I know they've had some times the past couple of weeks where they've put Lamar on a rest, do not practice on a Wednesday or so. He's not running the football as much as he used to. He had only 4 rushes yesterday. I mean, he had 46 yards because he had a 25-yard run. But if he's not able to do those other things, it makes their offense a little bit more predictable in terms of what they're going to do. So they should start running Lamar, get back to maybe mixing that in a little bit too. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Monday. Carver, Ryan, Cam, Stewart for Scotty. We're back after this.
What else do you need in your life? Are you not entertained coming along with us here on the SportsGrid Network?
They have regressed horrifically in the 3 years that he's been in charge. They are a disaster. They are a sinking ship.
Casey, why are you bugging?
Who I must ask, did you see Caitlin Clark, by the way, Dubsy, nearly take a couple of people's heads off with her tee shot today? I mean, how great was that?
I've never seen anything closer to Sharpin on the golf course until I saw that video of Caitlin Clark.
They are anemic. They can't stop a runny nose. Their defense is as bad as the Jets.
I don't know how anybody looks at the Jets and wants to lay anything with them except lay down and just, and die at this point here, Ben.
The Jets will always jet.
I hate them. Give me Duke minus a 6.5 tonight.
Now we live in a society. Oh, it's not fair. We need 12 teams. It's not fair. We're going to have 16 teams, 24 teams. What the hell are we doing here?
I think UConn actually wins the national championship if they can stay healthy. Little side note for everybody.
In women, South Carolina,
all right,
big favorite.
Oh, no. In both.
Kentucky going to fall off that map, man. Don't worry about it. Flat Earth, they fall right off, Kyrie Irving style.
Yeah.
It's the Dallas Cowboys, and they're ran like a Pee-wee football team.
Yep.
I can't believe this.
Like people enjoy saying Knickerbockers. Well,
like saying Knickerbockers, except you.
Losing to who? The Detroit Pistons? What? How do you do this one, Spock? Come on.
He's going to give deference to Georgia because of the G on the side of the helmet. I certainly understand that.
Those of you that watch us every night, we really do appreciate you.
Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Monday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. All right, Cam, next Sunday night game. Started out, didn't look like it was going to be a good one, right? You had Cincinnati build a 24-6 lead at half, 27-6 very early in the third quarter, and maybe it was going to be shut the lights. Let's go to bed early after a long day. But no, Cam. Hopefully you stuck around, because the Bengals came surging back. Jamar Chase with a touchdown. Long pass to T. Higgins, touchdown. Chase again. So 3 tutties for Joe Burrow in about a 9-minute span. And suddenly you had a 27-all football game. But Bengals really, Cam, again, we talk about kicker. We've talked about a bunch of kickers already in the first half an hour of the show. This McPherson on the Bengals had not one but 2 chances to give the Bengals a lead when the game was tied at 27. He missed them both. That gave the Chargers the opportunity that they needed. Maybe didn't need to take this all the way to the house. Probably could have went down and ran it out for a field goal. But we just said, why trust kickers? J.K. Dobbins said, I'll just do it myself on NBC.
The fullback in front of J.K. Dobbins. Runs left. Dobbins takes off. Dobbins inside the 10. Dobbins to the end zone. In for the touchdown. And the Chargers take the lead.
Great win for the Chargers, who are now at 7-3 as they get ready a week from tonight. The big Harbaugh Bowl out in Los Angeles, which will have the Ravens and the Chargers getting together, which is now a huge game with the Chargers 7-3, Ravens 7-4. Very good Monday night game next week. But it's 7-3 now, Cam. We talk about the Bills. We talk about the Chiefs. We talk about the Steelers and the Ravens. Those have been the kind of the big 4 in the AFC really through the first 11 weeks here of this season. Do we have to add the Chargers into the mix now as being right there with these other teams?
You're damn right we do. And I'll tell you something. On December 8th, they play the Kansas City Chiefs. And I've watched this team back in the day with Keenan Allen, all these guys screw it up every time. I'll tell you, if Staley was still coaching the Chargers, they probably wouldn't even have won that game. I got no problem with Dobbins, Carver, because it was under 20 seconds. He has to do what he does, even though Cam Dicker's probably, like for a young kicker, one of the better ones in the league. The Chargers do a lot of good things. Their defense was a little bit lax, but that was also Joe Burrow making great plays. Let's give this team respect. They got a good defense, and Herbert's figuring it out. He's got a lot more confidence. Ladd McConkey's awesome. Come on, Carver. We can't sleep on the Chargers. They're a very good football team right now. They seem to be getting better every week.
They are still being booked as the 6th choice to win the AFC at 13-1.
That's
now,
ridiculous.
Look, here's one thing I'll say about this game. Do I think that they could beat any of these teams in a said playoff game? Whether Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. The problem is, Cam, would they be able to beat 3 of them to win the AFC? Because that's probably what they would have to do, considering what their seed is going to be, which is probably going to be a 5, maybe, in that area. They'd have to beat probably 3 of those top 4 teams, and that might be a little bit too much to ask for. That might be where I hesitate a little bit.
It might be, but I'll tell you one thing. They got a mean defensive line. Derwin James is making plays. They're well coached. They have good special teams now with a good kicker. So the Chargers are a team you don't want to deal with. And for many years, I still think there's a narrative that they can't do it because they've always gagged in big games before. They had a stat that flashed up. They were 10 straight losses in games of 3 or less at that time before Dobbins finished them off. That's huge, Carver. That's huge to me.
Yeah.
Shake off the negative mojo. You're a new team, new players, younger guys. All your old staff from those days of gagging are gone. You got a new batch of young guys, and they're doing great. And Harbaugh's doing a great job in coaching this team. Amazing.
He certainly is. So great stuff for them. Like we said, Harbaugh Bowl next Monday night for the Chargers and the Ravens at SoFi. As far as the Bengals go, Cam, it has gotten from bad to worse for them. I think they thought that their season was going to get jump-started the past couple weeks. That has not happened. They fall to 4-7 now on the season. Here's like a little clip of both of them. You have Burrow in here basically being asked how miserable the year is, and then you have Chase after that kind of saying, go talk to the coaches, and then going after the kicker who missed a couple of field goals. So it's coming apart at the seams for Cincinnati.
Has this been the most frustrating season you've ever had?
Yeah,
Why?
pretty self-explanatory.
Everybody obviously knows you. What do you do?
How do I do it? I don't know. Ask Zach. Ask the coaches. Don't ask me. That's not my job.
To finish?
I play football on the field. I don't call plays for us, so I can't really do nothing.
Do you think that's part of the finishing factor is plays stuff?
I don't know.
You've seen...
I wasn't saying that.
You've seen Evan, obviously, make plenty of big kicks. Obviously, he missed 2 tonight. What do you say to him? Do you say anything? What's going through your mind?
But he knows to make those kicks. That's why we paid him those bucks to make those kicks in crunch time.
Hey, you know what?
You do this on a hockey team, you're done. You never publicly throw a guy under the bus, even when he does miss. This team is whoa, man. Whoa, that's wrong.
This is absolutely going to be, Cam. This is going to end really poorly this year. Like now, losing that game last night, I think that like you see the dejection from Burrow and Chase. I think you just know this is a lost year, and I think this could go way south for Cincinnati. It is going to get Taylor fired probably at the end of the year because they have not gotten back to where they were a few years ago when they lost in the Super Bowl. And especially if it ends as bad as I think it's going to. And I've heard, they were trying to sell you on TV last night that the schedule gets easier as they move forward. They still got to play the Steelers twice. They had a couple of pretty tough games.
Exactly.
This is starting to look like 6-11 type 7-10 max type of area that they're going to be living in. And that's not even going to be good enough to pick in the top 15 this year because everybody stinks. So a very lost year in Cincinnati for the Bengals, plus 420 for them to make the playoffs, Cam, if you'd still believe.
No, I'm okay. I got the Cincinnati wins under ticket this year in my pocket, Carver. That one, and it's feeling very good right now.
Did you?
Yeah,
nice.
Actually,
what did you get that at, Cam? What was that number?
It was one of my biggest plays of the year. Actually, I have Ravens under. I got 11 with juice, 10.5. Bengals under.
Okay.
Commanders over. But gotta say when I'm wrong, I had Carolina over 5.5, 6. I screwed up with the Panthers, and I need the Saints to stop winning games. Yeah.
Panthers have won. Wait, the Panthers have won. What, they got 3 wins now? Didn't they win a couple games ago? Or they?
You think they can win? They got to win 6. Do you think they can win 6?
I don't think you're done with that, Cam. I don't think you should rip that ticket up.
Can I
know about that. Well, wait a second. You're asking.
No.
You're asking for a little bit too much now. Hold on a minute.
People sold me down the river. People sold me down the river.
Wait a second here.
They said I was a clown, and I'm going to tell you, if Gambler, can I get 1 week out of you? Can I, just like the Bills winning, can I get one more crazy play where they win?
Think about it this way: they play the Bucks twice. Maybe they can split with the Bucks. Maybe they play the Cowboys, who are going to have Cooper Rush playing, and all their problems. They could, and that's in Carolina. They could win that game. Chiefs, Eagles, Cards, Falcons. All right, look, I don't think it's as buried as you think. All right, maybe there's an opportunity there. You never know.
Actually, I have San Francisco under too. Dallas under. Detroit over.
San Francisco. That's gonna.
They're going.
San Francisco's gonna hurt me.
Yeah,
San Francisco's gonna hurt because I need them to win the division with a couple of. It's connected to a bunch of things, and
I love you like a brother, but I can't. I back you on the Bills, but that's where I draw the line. 49ers
you
fans
got
come up to me and they say, they come at me hard. Yeah, know what? Good win, Seattle. At least they're grinding.
And I'm gonna deserve it, Cam. If all these legs of this come in and I lose because of the Niners, I go after the Niners every single year. I go after the Niners. Of course, this year I don't, and they're gonna shove it in my face. Coast to coast, we're back after this.
What else do you need in your life? Are you not entertained coming along with us here on the SportsGrid Network?
They have regressed horrifically in the 3 years that he's been in charge. They are a disaster. They are a sinking ship.
Casey, why you bugging?
Who I must ask, did you see Caitlin Clark, by the way, Dubsy, nearly take a couple of people's heads off with her tee shot today? I mean, how great was that?
I've never seen anything closer to sharping on the golf course until I saw that video of Caitlin Clark.
They are anemic. They can't stop a runny nose. Their defense is as bad as the Jets.
I don't know how anybody looks at the Jets and wants to lay anything with them except lay down and just, and die at this point here, Ben.
The Jets will always jet.
I hate them. Give me Duke minus a 6.5 tonight.
Now we live in a society. Oh, it's not fair. We need 12 teams. It's not fair. We're going to have 16 teams, 24 teams. What the hell are we doing here?
I think UConn actually wins the national championship if they can stay healthy. Little side note for everybody.
In women, South Carolina,
all right,
big favorite.
Oh, no. In both.
Kentucky gonna fall off that map, man. Don't worry about it. Flat Earth, they fall right off, Kyrie Irving style.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the Dallas Cowboys, and they're ran like a Pee-wee football team. Yep. I can't believe this.
Like people enjoy saying Knickerbockers. Well,
like saying Knickerbockers, except you.
Losing to who? The Detroit Pistons? What? How do you do this one, Spoke? Come on.
He's going to give deference to Georgia because of the G on the side of the helmet. I certainly understand that.
Those of you that watch us every night, we really do appreciate you.
Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back for Coast to Coast here on a Monday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. All right, next to Chicago, Cam, where the Packers beat the Bears 20-19. Matt LaFleur now 11-0 against the Bears. Although I will say he got away with this one because it looked like the Bears were finally going to break the string, not just against Matt LaFleur, but really of their pathetic play over the last 3 weeks. But unfortunately for them, Cam, the Bears are they're just going to bear on Fox.
And it's blocked! Oh, my goodness, the Packers block it, and they're going to win! Green Bay survives!
Green Bay survives with a blocked field goal. So we've seen a couple of these the last few weeks. You saw, obviously, Kansas City do it to Denver last week. This week, Green Bay does it to Chicago. I got to tell you, I was kind of surprised, Cam, that the Bears were even in the game. I didn't think it was a great performance, obviously, by Green Bay on any stretch. But when you're the better team and the lesser team cracks the door open for you, you never have a problem walking through it. So although we couldn't go to the window with the Packers minus 5.5, you did get yourself a win with the Packers, and the Bears just keep falling all over themselves.
I'm happy I took the Bears, and the only reason I did was their body language was brutal before they fired the OC, and I'm thinking this is a spot for the Bears, and they should have won the damn game outright, but that's what Bears do. You said it, Bears are going to bear. They screw it up. And I'll tell you, I don't care. I know we got another, Anyway, we'll see for the clip. I got some things to say about
because let's be honest here. This guy's a knucklehead. And
he is.
The Bears, as I've been saying for weeks, the Bears this is why they're run so poorly. They should have never allowed this guy to stick around when they were starting a new regime with Caleb Williams as their number one overall pick quarterback. He should have been attached to a brand new coach, a brand new philosophy, a brand new way of doing things. And instead, this Joker Eberflus, he's so bad. I mean, he could have got more yards, went a little closer up. And he did a lot of things, and he settled as he usually does. And as usual, he has no explanation for that.
Yeah, they were loading the box there. So you could say you could do that for sure. Maybe get a couple more yards, but you also risk fumbling and different things there. We felt where we were. If we got to 36 or 35, you're definitely doing that because you want to get it inside there. I felt very confident where we were at that time with the wind and where we were on the field.
I would feel uncomfortable with this guy running my kid's Pop Warner team. He can't do anything right.
Business.
He's brutal. That was so bad because you had time to get more yards, Carver. You saw it. What is?
Well, they were stacking the box. He just told you. They were stacking the box.
He's what do you do? He's giving away a lot of games this year.
What do you
and
do?
The Bears,
you just see stacking the box. What do you do? Nothing you can do. It's just
what a horrible loss.
They and like you said, you thought you'd get a little spike with the OC going out the door, and you come so close to winning. And it's what it is kind of hard to kill Eberflus about where they were because it's not like he missed it. It could have been blocked anywhere, so it's not like he missed it. I mean, the kick got blocked, so it's not like the guy shanked it to the left. And if he was 5 or 6 yards closer, it would have mattered. But still, if there's a reason to get on Eberflus, anybody's going to find one at this point.
Yeah.
The Bears are going to bear, man.
I've watched that's what I'm saying. I tape all the games sometimes just to watch them over again and whatever, and he does a lot of bad things. Some of his decisions are very poor. You can't be, don't be nervous, man. It's not your first rodeo. You got to figure this out. You're a head coach of a football team. This season has slipped away from the Bears. It started off with a chance of light. Now it's just darkness and misery.
Darkness and misery for the Bears. As long as that darkness and misery leads them to under 8.5, Cam, it's fine by me. Whatever. As long as that darkness and misery leads to that path, I'm perfectly fine with it. Meanwhile, the Rams, after losing at home last Monday night to the Dolphins, had to go cross-country to Foxborough to take on the Patriots, laying 4.5 on the road. They end up winning 28-22. Started a little sluggish, but once Matthew Stafford started hooking up with Cooper Kupp, things looked pretty good. Not 1, but 2 touchdowns for Kupp. Here's the second one on Fox.
Put some speed on that one, and there goes Cooper Kupp to the house. Another strike, and Kupp takes it the distance. 69 yards and a very nice Stafford delivery.
The Rams are another one of those teams, and I'll save, Cam, the NFC West stuff. Let's wait till we do the Seahawks beating the Niners before we get into all of those things in terms of how crazy that division looks right now. But the Rams are another one of these. 1 week they look like, man, this might be a playoff team. Then they look like they did last Monday where it's like, this team's like 7-10. They're not a great. They are a very middle of the road. Can't figure them out on a week-to-week basis. And I do think it's lucky that they were playing a team as bad as the Patriots yesterday.
Couldn't agree more. This division, we'll talk about it. It's nuts, and I don't think the Rams are very good. The problem is, who's the best team for consistency in the division? Probably Arizona. People were leaving, right, Carver?
Yeah.
What do you think? That is unreal to see a division that tight. There's always one brutal team and whatever. This is the craziest year for the NFC West. It's nuts.
Yeah,
it's insane.
And after, obviously, the Cardinals were on a bye this week. So after this week, now they've all played 10 games. So now it's it's even playing field. They all got 7 games left to go. Down the stretch we come, and we will go through all of that when we get to the Seahawk game. Eagles are going to be at the Rams on Sunday night. So you get another primetime Ram game this week at SoFi, Eagles and the Rams. So we'll see. I don't know if I expect it's 1 week good, 1 week bad for McVay and the Rams. So we'll see what you get there. All right, for Coast to Coast on a Monday, Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty. We will come back. We got some more NFL news. Top of the next hour, Bill Bender, sporting news. I'll go through some of this college football stuff with him from over the weekend. A lot going on. We're back on the grid right after this.
What else do you need in your life? Are you not entertained coming along with us here on the SportsGrid Network?
They have regressed horrifically in the 3 years that he's been in charge. They are a disaster. They are a sinking ship.
Casey, why you bugging?
Who I must ask, did you see Caitlin Clark, by the way, Dubsy, nearly take a couple of people's heads off with her tee shot today? I mean, how great was that?
I've never seen anything closer to sharping on the golf course until I saw that video of Caitlin Clark.
They are anemic. They can't stop a runny nose. Their defense is as bad as the Jets.
I don't know how anybody looks at the Jets and wants to lay anything with them except lay down and just, and die at this point here, Ben.
The Jets will always jet.
I hate them. Give me Duke minus a 6.5 tonight.
Now we live in a society. Oh, it's not fair. We need 12 teams. It's not fair. We're going to have 16 teams, 24 teams. What the hell are we doing here?
I think UConn actually wins the national championship if they can stay healthy. Little side note for everybody.
In women, South Carolina,
all right,
big favorite.
Oh, no. In both.
Kentucky gonna fall off that map, man. Don't worry about it. Flat Earth, they fall right off, Kyrie Irving style.
Yeah.
It's the Dallas Cowboys, and they're ran like a Pee Wee football team. I can't believe this.
Like people enjoy saying Knickerbockers. Well,
like saying Knickerbockers, except you.
Losing to who? The Detroit Pistons? What? How do you do this one, Spoke? Come on.
He's going to give deference to Georgia because of the G on the side of the helmet. I certainly understand that.
Those of you that watch us every night, we really do appreciate you.
Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Monday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. All right, Cam, I'm not even going to make you wait. Let's do it right now. Seahawks beat the Niners 20-17 yesterday. Niners had several opportunities to put this game away. They took a 17-13 lead with just over 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter after the Jennings touchdown. And you talk about sloppy, Cam. That is exactly what the Niners were in this game. But the Seahawks take advantage. And in the final, not just the final minute, Cam, the final seconds, Geno Smith getting it done on Fox.
Under 20, Smith back to throw. Smith takes off. Geno Smith, end zone ahead. Touchdown Seattle. With 12 seconds, Geno Smith again puts the Seahawks on his back. And Seattle's got the lead.
How about that? Cam, this is your squad. I got to tell you, when they, a couple of weeks ago, which was right before their bye, they had lost to the Bills and the Rams at home, right, to get themselves to 4-5. And I thought that they were going to be finished. The tailspin would start. Man, does that breathe some life back into you when you win a game like that yesterday on the road in your division.
And I'm going to tell you something, Carver, the parallels between what Josh Allen did and Geno Smith did. Allen did it in a more impressive way by knocking guys over. But if you didn't see that final drive, it was all Geno Smith and Smith-Njigba. All they did, and I'm telling you, and remember, their center retired too, and he was having problems with the snap, so they switched it around. This is very big, Carver. People aren't talking about this. They lost a lot of games on bad snaps all the time, Geno. It was nice and clean. And when he goes running, he can run. And I want him to run more. And I'll tell you something. The Seattle defense stepped up in the game when they needed to. And you're right. That's the thing about the Niners this year. They don't put anybody away. Look at the Rams when they came back against them. That's the thing, man. I don't know what's going on here. Seattle plays Arizona this week. Huge game. They're also 1-5 or 1-4-1 ATS at home. They do their damage on the road, as you see, winning in San Francisco. But things could be different now. The 12th man will still be excited. We are back in this race. And if they lost that game, it was a must-win game, and they won, Carver. Very proud of my team, the way I'm proud of your Bills. It was a great game. Before I talk about how this division stacks up, here's Kyle Shanahan, second
time this year the Niners have lost at home in the division. They lost to Arizona at home. Now they lose to Seattle at home. Shanahan not thrilled.
Just extremely disappointed. Thought we had a chance to put them away a number of times throughout the game. I thought the penalties we had on a number of drives just killed us. I thought we had some good momentum and then had a penalty that kind of ended the drive on 2 big drives. That cost us points on both of them. Still should have put it away there on that last drive and had every opportunity to, and missed a couple opportunities to do that. And when we did that, we gave them a chance, and thought our defense played great all game until that last drive. But let them hang around, and when you let people hang around, that's what happens.
Of course, as I was saying to you earlier, and I know I got cut off by a break, of course, I never back the Niners. I go after them every year, unders and win totals. This is the year, Cam, where I have the Niners to win the West attached. You know, one of those preseason, like, big parlays you throw together some crazy stuff. Lisi does this to me at night on the radio show. You know, these 6-leg future parlays and all this stuff. So, I got a couple that look pretty good, except there's a problem. And a couple of them I have the Niners to win the NFC West. And that's just not looking very good right now. 5-5 for the Niners, 5-5 for Seattle, 5-5 for the Rams. The Cardinals are 6-4. Cardinals are -105, Niners +290. Seahawks and Rams both 5-1 to win the West, Cam. Down the stretch they come, and they all got 7 games left.
They do, in a huge game. Think about this: if Seattle beats Arizona, what happens? That's good news for your Niner bet. And I'll give you a prediction right damn now. And this is not going to be a popular pick. The Niners go into Green Bay and they get it right. They're only 1.5 2-point dogs. They win that game outright. The San Francisco 49ers will still win this division. They will. Wow. I'm just hoping that Seattle can find a way to get a wild card. I think Arizona's going to fade a little bit, and I think the Rams are probably are the Rams the worst team in the division, or is Seattle the worst? I don't know. I don't know. That's the whole thing. Like, Seattle could look great, and then they lose to the Giants.
Before yesterday, I thought it was Seattle. Mm-hmm. And like, they both won yesterday. So I think it might be the Rams. But when you look at the roads that some of these teams have, you know, like the Rams, you know, they got the Eagles and the Bills and the Niners 3 of the next 4 weeks. You know, those are that could seriously put them in a problem coming forward. Hour 2 next. Bill Bender, Sporting News. We'll do some college with them. We're back coast to coast right after this. Together, both Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the 2 big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, you know, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you. Pinching your own cheek? As I was looking down and did not know we were getting...
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma will do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas, you know?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern.